What's poppin', everybody? This is Wolf4 and welcome back to Expanded Pokemon Sets. Finally, after so long, we're back doing this series. So today we're looking at the 8th Black and White set, and it's the first out of the 3 Plasma sets, the sort of a Gen 5 archetype sets, you could say. And it is Plasma Storm, of course. So the thing with Plasma Storm is the kind of set that 90% of the cards are pretty much useless. And when I say useless, I mean completely just useless, as weak as you can get. But then it has like the 10%, it has a few cards that are just not only broken, super broken, and just game changing that are still used today. So it is one of the Plasma sets, like I've said, introduced the Plasma archetype, Team Plasma cards. Let's just look at one just so I can show you guys. You got this sort of blue border around the cards. You got the sort of emblem. There's sort of a plasma badge over here. And they obviously worked with themselves, did a lot of stuff for themselves, combined with other Team Plasma Pokemon, Team Plasma trainers, and other cards. And in the first set here, they kind of sucked. We did get a few great stuff. But it was with Plasma Freeze, the set after this, that they really just got their stuff together and became one of the best decks in Gen 5 and even the Gen 6 era, for as long as it was around. I guess since I clicked on the Torterra, let's look at it. It's really cool because we don't get a lot of Torterra cards, and they decided to print one out of the blue in this set, but unfortunately it wasn't very good. HP is good, 150, considering it was like 3 gens ago, but it doesn't do a lot of good damage. I mean, 60 for 3, and then you just block 20. And then 40, or not, 80 for 4, and it's just going to do 20 more for each hits you get. Flip a coin till you get tails. So just big energy costs, and this was during the time when, you know, stage 1 and stage 2 Pokemon were just as bad and inconsistent as you could get. Like, the competition was so fierce between the basic EXs. Anyway, we're just going to see more evidence of this as we check out this set. But this is this Torterra guy, I guess, just checking it out. We do get something that's going to help, I guess, these energy costs. I guess I should just go and finally start talking about them. But for the most broken cards in this set, the combo duo of the Hypnotoxic Laser and the Burbank City Gym. Let's look at Hypnotoxic Laser first. So this card, in my opinion, has been one of the most overpowered cards ever since it got released. Even to this day, I feel like this card was just over-designed to be strong. You instantly inflict poison to your opponent, and then you flip a coin on top of that, and if heads, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. So even if this just inflicted poison, like you just inflict instant poison, this would have been an extremely good card for a bunch of reasons. Number one, it's like a plus power, but if your opponent stays there because it's through poison, they get the status. It adds up. Number two, it's not a tool. You don't have to attach it to a Pokemon. You can just play this as soon as you see it. Like if you don't have an attacker ready yet, like if you're setting up, if you can't really do much, you can just play this and start applying pressure. It's just so easy to use, much more effective than a tool. Yeah, if the tool sticks around in your Pokemon like a muscle band, you can continually get that extra damage. But obviously, like I've said, there's a lot of benefits in just being able to play this without even having any certain attacker as a focus and just inflicting damage like this. It's crazy good. Since it inflicts poison, the damage is through poison. Obviously, this gets combined with so many different cards, like the Ninetales that I've used, like with other Pokemon that gain extra damage or gain extra effects if the defending Pokemon is poisoned, or you increase the poison damage like with Burbank City Gym here. It's just an amazing card, man. It would have been an amazing card even without the sleep. But because of the sleep, it just became like almost a hacks card. Like you could just use this if you were losing or if you were going to lose, and your opponent falls asleep. If they don't have a switch, if they can't just switch, retreat, or just do something, and then you might just win because of the status of the sleep. So Just too damn good, too damn good, too damn cheap. A lot of games have been decided through Hypnotoxic Laser. I mean, nowadays, uh, people don't use it unless it revolves around the poison strategy, like I've said, and just tactics revolving around this and Verbank City Gym. But if you do use it, it's still busted. I mean, we have a lot of Pokemon that can benefit from this card and expand it. Too damn good, too damn good. Since it was a Team Plasma card, it could be recycled, and it had some sort of extra, I guess, interactions with Team Plasma, but too damn good. So Hypnotoxic Laser, no doubt, probably the best card or most significant card in this set. Just really changed our perception of when it was released of extra damage, like add-on damage through, you know, non-tools or just non-attacks, just pretty much free damage, you could say. And even if you don't lose, like if you use passive attackers or just you don't use attackers, you can still use this effectively. So fucking card. Anyway, so now for the part 2 of what made this card broken. Where are you? Verbank City Gym. So it's like it was so obvious when they printed these cards together what their motives were. It's just like, dude, are you serious? So it's bad enough Hypnotoxic Laser was a great card on its own. You had this Verbank City Gym that went along with it, a stadium that's going to put 2 damage counters instead of 1 on a poison Pokemon between turns. So between this little combo, between just a bunch of trainers, that's it. You just play a bunch of trainers, you don't even attack. You could add on crazy amounts of damage through Hypnotoxic Laser and a Verbank City Gym for nothing, pretty much. If you played this, you played Hypnotoxic Laser, you inflicted 3 damage counters just like that, and if they stayed over there, if they didn't retreat, if they didn't remove the condition, do something to play around it, damage would add up. You would be at 60 damage for free by the end of your opponent's next turn. So that was busted, man. So overpowered, so quick, easy to use. It made cheap attackers like the Landora CX we looked at in Boundaries Crossed just even more effective. They could pile on the damage for free, for cheap, super fast. And what more can you say, really? And back then, I mean, it's not like we had Pokemon with 300 HP and shit. This little damage mattered a lot. Damn, it wasn't even little damage. So that's Verbank City Gym for the stadium here, part of the laser combo. And this is also a card that can still be useful today in poison strategies and expanded, for sure. So these are probably the biggest cards in this set, like cards that any deck could really use. Like you wanted a counter stadium, you wanted to inflict just poison with laser, you wanted to use this, you could easily do it. Just slap it in there. But these were the best cards. Obviously, some other generic cards. We got the A-Specs here. I guess I should look at them. Both the Dowsing Machine and Scramble Switch are very good. Victory Piece here. This just only worked for Victini, just like the other A-Spec tools specifically working for Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. This one was a little bit better because you could use Victini for some tech situations. I guess I'm going to look at it later. Let's focus on the other stuff now. So, Dowsing Machine, probably the most used A-Spec of this set anyway, and of the A-Specs in general. I feel like a lot of people just want to favor this as opposed to Computer Search. Computer Search is still better in my opinion. Damn, is that going to show us? So, Dowsing Machine was basically the junk arm from the Heart Gold, Soul Silver sets, like the last one of them, I think was Triumphant. It was essentially your one card of junk arm to use in your deck. You discard 2 cards and you can grab any trainer and put it into your hand. So Computer Search basically could transform into any card from your deck. This could transform into any one of your trainers from the discard pile. So it just gave you the option to get an additional of your trainers that you have in your deck. Like use an extra laser, use an extra N. This was before we got VS Seeker 2, by the way, long before that. So people could go back and forth and think, hey, you know what, computer search is great, but this can give me an extra one of my stable power cards, and I could win the game because of it. So eventually a lot of people started using Dowsing Machine as opposed to computer search if they felt their deck was consistent enough. And I know for a fact from watching the top cut and watching Puka that eventually it would seem like for every deck he used, his ace pick of choice was the Dowsing Machine. So sort of an advanced card. I always sort of favored computer search, just maximize my consistency. Just get any card from the deck as you need it. But it's up to player preference at the end of the day. So Dowsing Machine, excellent ace spec from this set. And sees play even to this day. Then we got Scramble Switch, which was also very, very good. This isn't as popular, but it does have its uses. It has more competition, I guess, today with all of the switching options. But this card was essentially a switch. And then you could move as many energy attached to the old active Pokemon to the new active Pokemon. So you could make some rad interactions or rad combos with this. Just all of a sudden, in a surprise fashion, power up a Pokemon, save the energies from the hurt dude, and then you're ready to go. So definitely has its applications and its advanced uses, I guess you could say. At the right game state, you can use this to win the game. So worthy of being an ace spec. The fact that it's a bunch of energy switches and a switch at once. But, I mean, you know, like I've said, when your competition is stuff like computer search and Dowsing Machine, you really need to just know how you're going to use this card and know that you want to use this card to win. And you design your deck to win using this card. Great card for sure, but, you know, like I've said, up to player preference and competition is fierce. So before I get to the victory piece, I guess I'm just going to look at the EXs here. We get the random receiver, the gold secret for Juniper there. It's not showing shit here. Got the Blastoise. Are you going to show this? Not going to show this dude either. And then the Charizard is going to show this guy. So very expensive card, being the black shiny Charizard, of course. And even more so, it has an error, just like an old Charizard too. As opposed to fire, it has fighting over here. And then it says discard a fire energy attached to this Pokemon. And it's got a fighting energy and just other energy costs. But anyway, this card wasn't so great. Stage 2, it was impressive to have 160 HP in the black and white era though. So that's good that it has that. But that's about it. Okay, so the X's for this set were kind of meh, especially before we got the extra plasma support. Even Lugia X wasn't that impressive. So we got Victini EX here. Damn, it's not showing shit. I don't understand. Anyway, let's just go and look at the regular ones if it's not going to show the full arts. So where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you? Victini EX. God damn it, it's not showing even the regular one. What the hell, Sarah B? But anyway, this is the original Victini EX. We only got one either way. It got reprinted, I think, in a tin. I'm not too sure about that, but I know it got reprinted in Legendary Treasures too. So this Pokemon did have a very good useful attack, 100% with Turbo Energize. You could search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to any of your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So no doubt, excellent energy acceleration for the time. You know, not going to deny that. But the problem with Victini and the other sort of event legendary EXs back then, it was that they had really low HP. 110. This guy was really risky to use. And it's not like it was your only way to build decks. You had other stuff going on, so why just use this when you could use Emboar, Blastoise, or other energy acceleration methods? We got Virizion EX pretty soon too, after 2 sets, so this guy was risky to use. Now he did have a use with this Intensifying Burn attack though. So just like I mentioned with Virizion, Genesect and just grass decks that got kind of some good power when Plasma Blast came around. It was basically that grass deck. You could use this guy with Intensifying Burn. It did 50 for 3, and then if the Pokemon was an EX, you did 50 more damage, so 100 for 3, so still pretty underwhelming. But if you use the Victory piece right here, the A spec here, that worked exclusively with Victini, it's not going to show us again. You could use that attack basically for free. You could use both attacks for free, but you're going to essentially use the big attack for free. So you could do 100 for free. You didn't have to put any fire energies in your deck, didn't have to get like any energy cost on it. And because of the weakness, obviously it would kill grass weak Pokemon like Genesect EX and Virizion EX in one shot. So this was a very good method to take care of those Pokemon, and it did see some tech use. Puka definitely tried it out. Maybe some other people tried it out. Who was the other dude? It doesn't come to mind now, but people did use it as a tech. You know, you sacrificed your ace spec, but it was just an instant method to get a revenge attack and just kill an EX just like that. And it did give you a big advantage, so it was worth it to try. It did have the merit to try it. So that was Victini. And then we got the legendary bird Plasma EXs. I don't know why they were Plasma. They have nothing to do with Team Plasma, but either way, they were kind of bad. There was the deck called, was that Pokemon Film? I forgot the name, but Jay Witz made a video about it too, sort of showcasing the deck. I think it's called The One, or I don't remember, but you used the birds, and you were trying to take advantage of type coverage, and inflict damage through weakness and get one-hit KOs like that. Articuno got a full art. Moltres and Zapdos didn't, which is weird. But there's Zapdos. Doesn't do much. I mean, agility. And then Power Volt. If it has any plasma energy, you do 120 for 4. Pretty ass. And Moltres does essentially the same shit, but it's a fire Pokemon. Yeah, it was just too bad. Wasted opportunity. Destructive Flame, not really going to cut it either. So Articuno was the most different out of the three, but it doesn't mean that it was good. It also kind of sucked. You know, you could use Blastoise and use Energy Acceleration to use it, but there was so many other better options. Why just use this dude? You know? But anyway, I could inflict paralysis, I guess. We got Cobalion EX. Decent Metal EX here. With Righteous Edge, you did 30 for 1, and then you discard a special energy too. Good stuff. And then Steel Bullet, 100 for 3. And then it would ignore effects. It would ignore resistance too and weakness. And it's bad that it wouldn't ignore weakness. But it could ignore all effects. So this could go through, you know, the Safeguard Pokemon like Sigilyph. And then eventually Suicune. Okay. Man, it's just, this set is kind of weird the way they have the cards here. So you got 2 EX full arts, and you got a bunch of EXs that were not full arts. So we looked at the useless birds, we looked at Victini, we looked at Cobalion really quickly here. So I feel like I'm missing something. Let's just go down. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there you are. So you get some other black Kyurem EX and white Kyurem EXs in the set. Different than the ones from Boundaries Crossed. So this was the playable one. Yeah, I knew this guy came in here. I could have sworn it was over here and not Plasma Freeze. So black Kyurem EX. This card was very competitive back then because you could do 200 for 4 energies. That was just the right amount to KO EX Pokemon, even after considering the Eviolite, that they would help them get the 20 extra defense. It would still kill them. So obviously you would use this with Blastoise, slap 3 water energy, slap lightning energy, and this was ready to go. 180 HP Dragon Pokemon, as good as you could get. I mean, dragon weakness, it was going to be weak to other dragons. Slash was a weak attack. But you used this guy with Blastoise, and you had a deck. You got one-hit knockouts, and Keldeo X kind of became like a backup attacker at that point. You still probably used it in the deck. But this guy was the star with Blastoise. So it made the Articuno EX in this set even more useless. Weren't really going to use it. And then the last EX, probably should have talked about this first. Lugia EX. Still not going to fucking show us. This I know it also came in a tin 100%. And then it came in Legendary Treasures too. Was kind of an underwhelming Pokemon in the beginning. I remember even Jay Witt's, like when he made that set review out of the blue for this set and talking about all these cards. 120 for 4 wasn't so great. You had to discard a Plasma Energy on this Pokemon, and if you couldn't, this attack wouldn't do shit. Yeah, you could use DCs, and you could use the little... what was it called? Let's find it. The Chorus Machine, yeah, to accelerate energies faster. We're going to look at that card. So, you could get the attack with a little bit of setup, but the problem is at 120, it wasn't getting any KOs. Now, the reason, the incentive to use this Pokemon was his ability, which is not showing us here, that if you got a KO, you got an extra prize. So, kind of like an infinite Salamence level X ability, that you would get an extra prize every time you got a KO. So this was very good if you could exploit it. It meant that if you KO'd 2 EX Pokemon, you got 3 prizes, you won like that. It was like you got the KO on the Tag Team GXs of today. So definitely a busted ability, but it just didn't do enough damage. When we did get the ability to boost this guy's damage through Muscle Band and through Deoxys though, it was a different story. But at that point, it wasn't all that. So I think these are all the EXs. I'm going all over this place, but I haven't done this in a while. And this set is freaking weird. I mean, just weird distribution. It doesn't have all the full arts here, I think. Or maybe I'm just forgetting shit. Anyway. So let's just go in order and see what we got here. Like, we don't really have much. Like I've said, a lot of filler Pokemon. So you got Cherim here with Fair Weather Heal. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage for one of your Pokemon that has a grass energy on it. So a much more limiting option of the Shaman that we're going to lose in Lost Thunder. This was a stage 1. So lots of weak Pokemon. You get a bunch of plasma Pokemon like this Infernape that looked good on paper but didn't do shit. Discard all energy attached to this Pokemon and you could do 120 for 2. So you attach a far energy and then use Chorus Machine. This dude was ready to go, but didn't do anything really. And going down, we get other plasma Pokemon. Like, look at this Sharpedo. It's not even going to show us, but it doesn't do shit. Manaphy here was a good card. I like this card. With Final Wish, if this Pokemon was knocked out by damage, you could instantly grab any card from your deck, put it into your hand. So it was like a free computer search. And because it had a good Seafaring attack, you could flip coins and then grab water energies from your discard pile depending on the heads. Like, you had 3 chances with 3 coins. Even if you got at least 1 water energy, you broke even. If you got more than 1 heads, then you plussed. It was really good to use in, water decks. Like, I used it quite a bit in my Primal Kyogre EX deck. Other water decks like the Swampert from Primal Clash, you could use that over there too. It would be a decent help. Just water decks in general. It's been quite a while, so I don't remember like all of the relevant water decks. Even in Blastoise, you could use this. I mean, why not? I mean, while you're setting up, trying to get Blastoise out, Manaphy could be handy. You would probably dump some water energies with Ultra Ball. This could help you get them back. So that was another deck you could use this in. Good card. Good little tech. Vanillux here. No, it's not the good one. Got Jellicent. decent little plasma Pokemon. I don't know what the fuck is up with Cerebi for this set. It's showing the half-assed information. But Spiteful Spirit, if this Pokemon was your active Pokemon, it got knocked out. If any Pokemon was confused and poisoned, Aqua Bullet 40, and then 10 to a bench Pokemon, so it was like 50 for 2. For 1, you could say, if you use the Chorus Machine. Let's look at the Chorus Machine, actually, so you guys know what the deal is. So the Plasma Pokemon, they debuted in this set. They obviously got a little bit of exclusive support to get them going as their archetype. And the main form of power was this Chorus Machine that was supposed to help them. So you could search your deck for Plasma Energy and attach them to one of your Team Plasma Pokemon. So Energy Acceleration from the deck through an item. It was like a Dark Patch. It would be fast. It would be from the deck. You could only get the Team Plasma Energy. And this just only had some interactions with Team Plasma Pokemon. Like that Lugia, it needed this to be able to get its attack off. So you had to run this card, and obviously you're going to run the Chorus Machine to power up from the deck those guys. And you got Chorus, but this was just a great support all around. Where are the other Plasma cards? You got the Plasma Frigate, I think that's how you say the word. Each Pokemon with Plasma Energies didn't have a weakness, but this was just too weak. Too situational. Thankfully, we got better stuff in the Plasma Free set. You had the Team Plasma Grunt, which was a direct sort of copy-paste effect from the Team Magma and Team Aqua supporters from way back. You could discard a card or discard a... Oh, no, wait. You have to discard a Team Plasma card from your hand, and then you draw 4. Okay, so it's not even... like the Team Plasma, the Team Magma and Team Aqua Grunts. Well, you had the option to discard any card, but you were going to draw 3. And if you discarded Team Magma or Team Aqua, you were going to draw 4. This one, you have to discard a Plasma card, either a Pokemon or another just Plasma trainer, to draw 4. Now, this was straight 4. In my opinion, this was a solid card, but like the best Plasma decks didn't really use this. They just relied on the typical N, Juniper, Chorus, Skyla supporter engine, or supporter staples, and they didn't need to use this. This did give you straight draw, but people didn't use it. But I think these are all the Plasma support for this set anyway. We got some other stuff later. Since I'm in the bottom, might as well look at Chorus. Another one of the most busted excellent cards from this set to go with the Laser and Burbank City Gym. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw a number of cards up to the bench Pokemon. So this remains one of the strongest cards in Expanded, and you best believe that if this wasn't standard, people were going to use it. In my opinion, in many ways, it just outclasses Erica 2, which is basically Steven's advice in a way. These cards kind of have some similarities, but I feel like this card wins by just a little bit. It outclasses Erica, because like if you manage to bench a bunch of Pokemon and your opponent doesn't commit anything, at least you can still just shuffle and draw like 5 or 6, and you're kind of decent. But you know, with Erica, you don't have the same option. Now, Erica, if your opponent commits and you're not doing so hot, then she becomes better. But with this, you have more control, you could say. It was considered a Team Plasma card too. You got the blue borders, so they could recycle it. They could do a bunch of other stuff with it. So yeah. But if both people had like 5 bench Pokemon, you draw 10. With the Skyfield, it got even crazier. So if you're playing Expanded, you run at least one of these guys in your deck. Okay. We got the Escape Rope. This was basically a warp point. Each player switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. Just different name. You got the Ether. I think this was a new card from this set. You reveal the top card of your deck if it was an energy attached to one of your bench Pokemon. If not, you put it on top of your deck. You could use this with one of the Lunatones that stacked cards on your deck, I think. I think it might be from this set, we'll see. And Eviolite, I think this was a reprint. This did come in one of the earlier black and white sets, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think it was not Emergent Powers, but Noble Victories, I believe. So, or maybe Next Destinies. I'm not sure. But this was the Evilite reprint. And I think I covered the best cards and I guess the bottom cards at the very least. So let's go ahead and look at some other random stuff and see if I remember anything. You got this Togekiss. Wasn't gonna cut it. With Bright Veil, as long as this Pokemon was your active Pokemon, your opponent, if your opponent played an item card, all effects were gonna be ignored. Let me just fucking read it. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent played an item card from your hand, prevent all effects of the card done to your Pokemon. Okay, so you could essentially bypass Laser and stuff like Crush and Hammer, so it was good, but it had a useless ass attack. It had to be active. So what were you gonna do? By the time you brought this out, you were gonna lose the game through those cards. So Return did give you shuffle and draw, so you could draw cards and do have 6 actually, not shuffle and draw, and do 30, but you weren't gonna apply pressure, so you weren't doing much. So was not good. You got the busted Snorlax from here. Okay, so this was one of the strong regular plasma Pokemon. With block, as long as this Pokemon was active, your opponent's active Pokemon could not retreat. And with Team Impact, Team Pact, you do 30 damage times the number of Team Plasma Pokemon you have in play. So you fill your bench with Team Plasma Pokemon. This dude was going to be doing like 6 times 3. It's exactly 180, yeah, so you can get one-hit knockouts on EX Pokemon. So, Team Plasma decks had a few variants, like you could do the Turbo Team Plasma decks, which were eventually the strongest. You could do the Team Plasma decks focused on this guy, Snorlax. You could even do like the deck called, I think, the One, or I don't remember what the name is, after the film with Lugia and the other birds. I believe, Legendary Bird Trio, the Plasma Birds. So you had that option too. So you had a bunch of different decks. You can even build a deck around this guy now and expand it to serve as a troll to get your opponent stuck and deck them out. So that's bullshit. But I mentioned this in one of the like Sword and Shield Japanese sets. One of those 2 sets we get a card that copies this guy's ability, but I forgot what it is. So yeah, had high HP, large ass attack, but between the DCs and the Chorus Machine, you were gonna get there. Okay. Let's keep going. You got White Cure MX. I guess I forgot about this guy. This guy was not good. 100 for 4, and there's 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Yeah, it wasn't very useful. You got a few Durants. You got Klinklang. Good card because of Plasma Steel. So this was the hope for metal decks, I guess, to become good. Because with this guy's ability, prevent all damage done to your metal Pokemon from your opponent's Pokemon EX. So just like Jay Witt said, I remember from his old video, you know, decks that had billions of EXs, the whole deck of attackers were EX Pokemon, could prepare for like a Sigilyph or Suicune when that card eventually came out. But a whole deck immune to EX Pokemon, it would be kind of too much. So this was what this Klinklang did. And you can obviously use it with the Cobalin in this set, maybe some other metal Pokemon. And if you were too ambitious, you could even use the Klinklang that moved metal energies around from the first set, but that was pushing it. But you had a metal deck if you wanted to. And I think got this Lucario. If this Pokemon has any metal energy, it's both metal and fighting. Get some coverage. And Hurricane Kick is a good revenge attack, but shame EX was faster. Do 60 and 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent had taken. Yeah, there's the Lunatone. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put them back in any order. So sort of give you the chance to use that ether, stack cards in your deck. Oh well. Donphan with Spinning Turn. This eventually became the most busted Pokemon, like a regular Pokemon. 1 for 40, and then you switch this to one of your bench Pokemon, promote a wall Pokemon, and that's basically the deck. Eventually we got Strong Energy. We got damn Regirock even. I think the Plasma sets were still around when Fates Collide came out. And you had the EX Stadium 2 that boosted damage from fighting Pokemon to EXs. So this guy was very dangerous for just 1 energy. So Donphan definitely won a lot of tournaments, definitely became a top deck in his own right. And I believe we covered everything. You got this Crobat that you draw a card every turn, but it didn't do shit. And you got the Zubat, I guess, that some people still use it if they were going to use Crobat. Free Retreat if it doesn't have energies on. Magnezone with, it's not going to show us, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that allows you to use 2 supporters per turn. Good card. And I think that's it, guys. So maybe scratch what I said. This set does have a lot of useful cards. You got some good trainers, of course. Those were the best cards. Bicycle 2, I forgot about this card. Drone 2 have 4, but it's just an item, it's not a supporter. So another great card still used to this day in Turbo decks. Probably a curse, but we have it. And that's the set. To be honest, guys, I'm not really satisfied with the way I made this review here. I mean, cards were all over the place, I feel like, in this set. And maybe because I haven't done this in a while. But in the end, we did cover all of the cards. I don't think I forgot anything. You get maybe some other lesser cards here, but they're not really worth mentioning. The best cards, of course, were the Laser Verbank City duo. Like, you could tech those cards in a lot of decks. They were just easy to splash in, and you got some free damage. Colress, of course, became a stable supporter in a way. I mean, not as it wasn't a card that you really wanted to max out because it wouldn't be good early, like Juniper and N and stuff. But it was definitely a stable supporter in its own right. We got some good A specs here. Some good plasma cards to start off the plasma archetype. Blastoise got Kyurem. You get the metal deck with Clink Clang. So we got a few stuff. We got some stuff. You get a few useful ability Pokemon too, like this Manaphy and the Magnezone that allowed you to use 2 supporters. So you get a bunch of good shit. This was definitely a strong set. I would say Plasma Freeze is even better, or at least I like it better. But this was definitely a strong set. So this has been the review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. And God knows when I'm going to do Plasma Freeze next. I just got around doing this set, but we do still need to do the Dragon Vault rotation video, and I need to post some matches too, because I know that my viewers really just want to see matches. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Saber94. Thumbs up for Chorus, is the coolest guy in this set, by the way. Super cool. And I'll see you guys next time. What's say?